There's a guy in St. Louis who removed the nose bowl from his Beechcraft Bonanza, and I want to 3D scan it, but I live in Savannah. I guess there's only one solution to this problem.
And so we flew to St. Louis to save general aviation, also to go to an air show. So we're currently standing at the Spirit of St. Louis Air Show. It's preview day. I'm here on preview day because I have a bit of a role to play with this air show. I'm here for work, and we brought an airplane for display over in the static area. We're gonna be supporting some of the STEM activities, science, technology, engineering, and math, by showing up and showing kids what they can do, who they can be. Pilots, engineers, designers, industrial engineers, doctors, teachers, artists, but artists who are designing and developing the future, creating the future. So that's why we're here.
That's exactly why we're in St. Louis. But if you know me, you know I don't give up the chance to have a good old-fashioned side quest. What you're looking at here is the nose bowl for a V-35A Beechcraft Bonanza. It's Andrew's Beechcraft Bonanza, a guy I met on the internet. Don't be like me, take proper precautions. Strangers can be friends too, but in very specific situations. Airplane people tend to be pretty trustworthy. Anyways, we 3D scanned this nose bowl because Andrew had removed it from his airplane and replaced it with a more sturdy part from a newer model Beechcraft Bonanza. And that's perfectly fine because the parts match the parts manual. Don't come after Andrew. Come after me. We are scanning this because we want to save it for future reference. If I ever have a cracked nose bowl or want to upgrade my nose bowl for some reason, going through a DER and the appropriate channels to replace my nose bowl, I will now have the data to produce my own part, i.e. an owner-produced part, to maintain or modify or alter my specific airplane. So we whipped out the 3D scanner. This is a $100 3D scanner that I bought on Facebook Marketplace, brand new. I think it's about $200. And we started scanning this part to see what we would get. Take a look.
So what do you got, the 470 or 520 in yours?
The 470.
In both of them?
The P-35's got the 470, the B-35 still got the E-225-8, yeah. Yeah, so you just pulled it off and put a replacement one on.
Yeah, we did a lot of the work.
Yeah.
The guy, the AP who supervised this, sheet metal guy from TWA.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So he just said, all right, this is how you do it, and took, I think, 2 weeks.
That's not bad.
2 weeks to do the bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, more than that.
More than that?
I damn near I swear it was like a month.
Yeah, I was thinking
it seemed like a month.
Yeah. You probably had a lot going on at the same time too anyway.
Well, we had, this was just, it had to get done. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't even begin to describe to you how many times I tried to make this video on the spot in St. Louis, but the audio was just horrible because the Blue Angels were screaming overhead. So we're just gonna have to settle with looking at it here in the computer. And it should be pretty obvious what you're looking at here. This is the nose bowl that was on the ground. You can actually see some of the texture that's on the ground around it. My case is off to the left here. Got the hole cut out for the landing light and then the hole cut out for the air vent. Now, is this scan perfect? No, it's not. Am I confident that I can make a suitable shape from this 3D scan? Yes, absolutely. The details will just matter a lot more. I needed to take specific measurements of these cutouts so that I can really replicate their shapes and sizes at this quality of scan, which is a pretty great scan. Don't get me wrong. As a matter of fact, take a look at this. Ah, there we go. Now, does that look familiar? Excellent. Yeah, this is what the scanner can provide at about $100. My other scanner, my laser scanner, would have required me to put 3D tracking dots all over this part, which I could have done if I was in the comfort of my own home, or maybe my own hangar, but I suppose someone else's hangar. He was trying to go watch the Blue Angels, and I didn't want to take up too much of his time that he was donating to me for free. So we 3D scanned it. This is what we ended up with. And you'll see some artifacts, of course. Some areas like right here in the cutouts where there's some overlapping stuff that shouldn't really be there. It should be a smooth cutout. But this gets me close enough to being able to make a mold of this shape and then hand matching all of this other stuff in the future. If I needed a more specifically well scanned part, I would have used a different scanner. Hope that makes sense. Now the next thing we have to do is take this into a program like SolidWorks, which I haven't done yet, and look at it from this angle and just start drawing it out, making sketches so that I can define this part in a computer-aided design software in CAD. SolidWorks, FreeCAD, Onshape, Fusion 360. They all work almost exactly the same. If you can drive one, you can drive the other. I would take that over there, start messing with it there. And before I did that, I'd do things like cleaning it up. So I'd be selecting portions of this thing, and you can just delete the stuff that you don't need. Hope this makes sense. There's a lot of manual editing that's required here. It just depends on what type of scanner you have. And that was just me doing a free line, a hand motion there. And I could get a little bit closer here. This is not intended to be perfect or a tutorial in any sense, but you can then see what I'm doing. I'm taking my time to clean up the part. So when I bring it into SolidWorks, I have what I need and only what I need to replicate this part. I hope that makes some sense. Let's see if I can cut out this bottom area. You'll see where it messed up just a little bit if I delete there. Yeah, this area that I'm selecting right now should have been an open hole, but the scanner picked up on some artifact. It could have been a reflection, could have been a bug, it could have been anything. It picked up on something and scanned that in. So I can go in and clean it up for future reference, or I could just leave it and know when I bring it into SolidWorks or some other CAD program that I would have to exclude that zone. So this is I'd say this is 30% of the work right here, scanning the part. The other 70% of the work is going to be to put it into a program like SolidWorks and draw it out piece by piece and clean it up, turn it into something that I can make out of a foam mold. I could probably make myself a foam mold in my backyard on my really cheap CNC router, but that might be for another episode. These projects take a really long time, as you could imagine, and I want to get them all done, but at what cost? The cost of my sanity, or time with my friends and family and loved ones and such. Anywho's, this is where we start, and let me see if I can clean this up really quickly. No, it's not going to let me do it. Anyways, you get the point. We have a part 3D scanned. On with the video. So you might be asking, why would I even need to go to this extent to do this? I can just go to a junkyard and get a different nose bowl for my airplane if mine ever cracks or if I need to replace it. And you would be absolutely correct. I can go to BAS or some random person on YouTube and buy their nose bowl, have it cleaned up and painted to match my airplane, rivet it all into place, and we are done. We can move on. But what happens if those parts are not readily available? This makes me think about my friend Glenn from Glenn's Hangar. His YouTube channel is centered around his experiences with his 172. It's a slightly older 172. It's a straight tail 172 that is no longer in production, obviously, and the nose cone, nose bowl of his airplane has had some damage or a crack. That's been repaired over the years, but it's not up to his satisfaction. He's been looking to replace that nose bowl for a long time. Now, because they all crack in the exact same spot, all of his other friends who've got Cessna 172s of this vintage have probably consumed all of the nose bowls that are out there in the wild. And so he's been looking for solutions for his nose bowl. And I'm not entirely sure he's fixed his problem yet, but if he hasn't, this might be one of those ways, except Glenn lives in Canada and I have no idea what Trans-Canada does for these types of regulations. But the FAA gives us 14 CFR Part 21.9 as a starting point to have a conversation with our maintenance professionals. We, as the airplane owner and operator, can go and talk to a maintenance professional. I happen to call mine A&P Mechanics, and ask them whether this would be a suitable route for doing something like this. Now, with this specific example, the nose bowl, we might be drifting into major alteration territory where we may need to get a DER or someone from the FAA involved to sign off on the 337 or the return to service paperwork for a nose bowl. But if it was something smaller like a patch panel or a cover of some sort or something that's easier than a nose bowl, we might have a minor alteration and be able to work directly with our A&P mechanic to make a work plan and put that work plan into our logbooks and sign off the airplane as airworthy for us to go off and fly the airplane. Now, an owner-produced part is a legal part. You can sell that airplane with that part on it. The new A&P IA should be perfectly fine inspecting the airplane if you've done a good enough job documenting your assumptions, your design, and documenting the way that you've been involved in this design as well. The 3D scanning doesn't really count because it's just like taking a picture of it, but the reverse engineering and having it manufactured or made somewhere absolutely does. So go ahead and look at 14 CFR 21.303, where it talks about replacement and modification of parts or modification parts. And you will realize that owner-produced parts is a free tool that the FAA has given us to be able to keep our old airplanes up and flying. I hope that makes sense. We'll have more on these topics as we roll through this channel over and over and over again. I want to make sure that you are satisfied and happy with the discussion of owner-produced parts and what it means for making your own articles. I'm not talking about selling to a friend or starting up a company that will sell these parts or getting STCs and PMAs and all of. We're way inside the bounds of what we're able to do in-house with the technology that we have access to right here at home and sometimes on the interwebs. I hope that makes sense. That's all I've got for this topic so far. You should be seeing an update on a different topic on an owner-produced part that I've been doing, these landing light lenses. I've been running through some tests on them and I'm almost ready to reveal the results of my testing over the past month for those parts. And we'll see what 3D printing could do for us at home. I can't print a whole nose bowl, but at least we'll have one good example that you can take into your summer. Be good to each other, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, I found something that I want to show you guys real quick because we need to talk. You know, I know nothing about helicopters. I know a lot about airplanes, not much about helicopters. But behind me, V-22, the Osprey. An airplane that's trying to be a helicopter, or a helicopter that's trying to be an airplane. Not entirely sure which one. I don't think it does either one very well, but still, pretty cool aircraft with its transitioning power plant. Tons of useful load. And massive, absolutely massive blades, props. The video doesn't do it justice, trust me. All right, let's move on. And so now, we're in St. Louis. You know what? I'm feeling bored. Let's fly to St. Louis. All right, so we have a moment of silence because the Blue Angels are a half up. No, never mind. They're right here. Even though the Blue Angels are overhead and you can hardly hear what I'm saying, they're just practicing. No one cares about that. I'm looking at a Bonanza in front of me. I know where my attention is going to be. Anyways. My Bonanza could do that.